Talk about that water is so clear. You can see right. Oh, what are you doing?
Recording.
Anyway. What do you mean about Fletcher Garden?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Is that the one whose name was Dude?
No, Dude was the oldest. I don't remember what his name
J
was.
some initials.
And anyway.
Bobby was one.
Right,
One of them named Bobby Garden.
I was told to go get stove wood and bring it in. And while I'm loading my arm, Fletcher come up there and says, "I'm gonna call you Mr. Dave when you get there." I said, "You better not." "I am too, Mr. Dave." And she says, "You better not call me. I'll kill you." And Mr. Dave, and I was putting a piece of stove wood up on my arm, and I just slapped him right up over the ear with blood flowing. And I didn't even enjoy the meal that was prepared from that firewood. I sure got a whipping out of that one. But I don't know that Fletcher has ever called me Mr. Dave. So that's enough of that. Right.
Dude was the oldest.
And Bobby
was the middle.
Amy was the one sister, and there was
Bobby was just as mean as I had one of them.
Bobby.
Yeah.
Yeah. He used to be in my grade at school, if I'm not mistaken.
And was that Henry's mother that you stabbed him, you stabbed him, you stabbed him? Bud and
Oh, yeah.
Bud and Bobby were fighting, wrestling, something. Anyway, it came around that Bud's knife got in Bobby's back.
Whose knife?
Bud's.
Oh, how did it get there?
I don't know.
Who put it?
I don't know.
Come on, come clean.
Nope. I don't know.
Your parents can't get you now. Come clean.
I have no idea. But it was not an intentional stab, that's what I'm saying. Okay. And it might have been that Bobby wanted his knife.
He got it.
Yeah, not that way. But,
Hey, David, how about when we used to wait at school for the school bus down up at the house at the road when we lived at Robert Joyner's? You remember Benny Bruce?
yeah.
You, tell them.
Oh, no.
Oh, come on.
I might have to use dialect for that.
Come on.
But this is some pineapple. If it's not used for long, it's going to spoil. And some grapes that,
Well.
what I had it in the truck got a little bit warm.
Okay. Well, take care of them.
And I just ate one piece of the pineapple a while ago, and it went pretty good.
Okay, so what happened?
What happened on what?
What are we asking him
What
to tell?
Oh, Benny Bruce.
Benny Bruce.
Oh, that his mama would cook cakes and set them in the window to cool, or she'd decorate them.
And she had a few children.
Yeah, and she heard him come in the house. Benny Bruce, don't you punch my cake? I ain't, Ma. I done punched it.
You remember that, Walter?
I done punched it.
And her son is the one that told Russell, I think it was her son, unless it was those people. One was named Snell.
Okay, that was the
You remember?
24 kids.
You remember? And so one day he told Russell, he said, "Your hair's great, my hair's curly, fill on it."
He says, well, Bud was in on that. It was a little pygmy girl, little girl called Pygmy.
Yeah.
And she told Bud, "My hair curly, yellow, straight, feel on it." And he said, "Oh, Feel like wool to me.
And Snap. One boy was named Blue.
Yeah.
Was he Blue? And one was named Snap. They were about Russell's age. And somebody in the family wanted him to snap some beans. And he said, Snap don't snap no snap, said Snap don't eat no snaps, or something like that.
Snap don't pick no snaps, Snap don't snap no snaps, Snap don't eat no snaps.
Okay. But they do that, and we go around the house mocking them and laugh about it and have fun about that.
And I told you there was a family with 24 children. That was a house full.
Is that what Snap
and Blue and Pigmeat and Dee-Don.
Oh yeah, forgot that.
Dee-Don.
You remember them? Or were you too young?
I think he might have been a little bit younger.
I don't know anybody.
I bet you were too young.
Well, they lived right there by where we used to go bullfrogging at night. There was a pond back there. Go back there shooting bullfrogs.
That sounds bad.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds bad.
Oh. Any trouble anywhere except home. We didn't cause them any trouble. They just thought we were in trouble and thought we should know better. And if you don't know better, I'll try to teach you. Give you something to remember it by. Go get me a switch. Nobody got hurt. But there was someone plowing out there in that field where the walnut tree was, that was being tilled when we went by earlier. That area, we used to pick up so many arrowheads. You'd be plowing along here, something goes straight, and look, the arrowheads. But we had quite a few of them at one time, and we'd try to make arrows out of them, and they'd go back in the woods.
I got a big jar full of them at the house right now.
I don't have any of them. Real easy for us to have fun.
Well, it sounds like y'all did have fun.
We did. Till we got caught.
Oh, yeah. And Pat said that your mom and dad thought y'all were living, like y'all were playing all nice and...
We played games.
Yeah.
Out there by that tree. we
Ain't no bears out tonight. Papa killed them all last
I
night.
sure did.
What is that game?
I don't remember.
We'd steal things from the bear. The bear would be asleep,
And then
we'd
they'd
steal
have-
things from the bear, and then he would wake up and try to go get us.
He'd have to catch
And we'd
us.
run and scream and holler, laugh, have a good time.
And Red Rover, let
Let the ball
somebody come over.
Let the ball come up. We'd throw the ball across a two-story house. Sometimes we'd do it over the kitchen. That was one story. But sometimes some of you big ones would do it over the
Over the
two-story.
two-story.
I couldn't do that.
The most scared
Oh,
I ever remember being
what's sweet?
was when I had to sleep on a pallet in the room,
Sitting room.
the sitting room.
Uh-huh.
And I think I might have seen a movie or something. No, it wasn't any
No,
movies
we
then.
didn't have movies.
Wasn't any movies. We didn't have any way to get to them then. But there was always talk about those Hanks coming up out of the graveyard
Yeah.
down there.
And the lights.
And that lights. And Mama put the pallet right over under the window. And those gauze window curtains. Windows open. And the wind's blowing it, and that gauze coming back and forth across my face in the night. Then those ghosts trying to get me. Oh, we might have been talking about those ghosts down at the cemetery.
Oh.
Yeah.
And but that scared me.
And we'd get brave, and somebody's going to go down there, check out the cemetery, see where those lights are. And we'd get flashlights and stick and whatever. We'd take off and go down there. Mostly the older ones would, because I was younger. And a lot of times they never made it to the graveyard because they get so scared of each other. They weren't brave enough to go. And they'd come running back scared to death, out of breath. It played a big part in our life.
The graveyard?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Go upstairs so you could see better, but the trees and things weren't in your way. And you'd look out the window and say, there it is, you see it.
The light come up and floating around.
Lights.
But then we did come up with that discovery that if anybody started talking, it would disappear when we were going.
Now, didn't you say Daddy punished somebody by sending them to the...
That was when I hit you with the brick and
Okay,
Kathleen chased me.
Okay, tell about it.
And I hid out in the cow pasture and up a tree until I didn't see anybody looking for me. And went back to the house and crawled under the bed, went to sleep. Supper time come. Nobody knew where I was. Last thing they knew, Kathleen had chased me out away from the house. And Daddy was upset with her tremendously for scaring me away. And so trying to find me, and I think basically for punishment to Kathleen, he says, go down to the graveyard and there at the foot of that walnut tree, get that 10-quart bucket that's sit in there, about half full of fertilizer. And then bring it back. That wasn't necessarily looking for me, you know, but she was proving that she made it down there. And then...
She'd get in trouble if she didn't, right?
Right, and Christine was sent to Robert Joyner's place from Turnages to see if the people down there had seen me. And somebody was sent back up in the field to the gardener's house to see if they had seen me.
And this was dark.
Yeah, after it got dark. And nobody's seen me. Well, Daddy it was either Christine or Kathleen, that he says, you don't have to go. And I think it was Kathleen, and she was crying, and this is the reports I heard anyway. And she was so stubborn. I'm going if it kills me. And so she went on to check on. But anyway, and then when they finally decided to go ahead and eat without me, and Bud finishes first, going out of the dining area into Mom and them's bedroom, and there's my foot that slid out from under the bed. And Bud says, here's David in here. And And I just knew I was going to get a skinning. That's the whipping I should have gotten, didn't get. Anyway, it all started from me wanting to swing with Pat when she was holding Mac, trying to get him to sleep. And she wouldn't let me, and I threw a brick at her.
Dynamite fishing thing.
Dynamite.
Yes. Come on. Come on, Uncle Walter. Y'all talk about the dynamite. Fishing with the dynamite. I like the one he told earlier about when the preacher came. You should tell me that one. Come on. That was funny with the dynamite caps and...
About throwing the dynamite in the creek.
Yeah.
There at the bridge.
Well, that one,
And that
we just couldn't catch any fish then. Knew there had to be fish in that hole. So we'll get them one way or the other. Rig up a dynamite charge and tie it to a brick. Light it, drop it in. About the time we get it dropped in, there's a car coming down the road. It's the game warden. And he pulls up there, stopped on the bridge, stepped out, and just as soon as he got out, that dynamite went off and water went and wet him good. And he just hopped in his car and never looked for us. We had run anyway when we saw who it was. But that was our way of making fish bite when they didn't want to bite. Was shake them up a little bit.
And that man come back up there and said, I know you boys is the one that was throwing that dynamite in that creek. I said, I know you can't prove it.
When they changed it to where we could attend Farmville School, they turned around out at the top of the hill at the graveyard, and we had to walk down there from there, which seemed like a mile then, but it's probably maybe a half mile. But when we moved to Robert Joyner's, we were going to Farmville School, and we had to walk from Robert Joyner's place to the turnage place.
Sure did.
Because that's where the school bus would turn around then.
We always had to walk for.
It seemed like we always had about a mile walk to get to school.
It was.
And Mama would, yo, put those coats on, jackets on, whatever. Bud would stuff his jacket in a hollow tree because he didn't like to wear a jacket. And go to school and come back home, get the jacket out, go on to the house. But we were good kids.
Tell me that one again.
I spent some time in the Red Roof Inn.
No.
You know, Russell's favorite about when we went to Fountain School, and he would make us all get down in the ditch and
Oh, I've heard
hide
that.
when school bus was coming, so we could all miss. So he could miss school that day. Oh yeah.
I didn't go to school then.
And
Yeah,
then,
we're going to Fountain School.
well, Russell used to tell that, laugh his head off. And we'd all go dragging back up to the house. And they'd say, what are you doing back at the house? Why didn't you, why aren't you in school? And Russell said, we missed the bus. We didn't get there in time to get on it. And he would make us slide down, get down in the ditch so the school bus people, driver, and everybody couldn't see us. We'd all hide. And he'd go back to the house and say, we missed the bus.
Mm-hmm.
It's dark, and the water pump's out on the back porch. And how did that stove get out there on the back porch area?
How did
Cora gave me a dip of water out of the hot water,
reservoir?
out of the reservoir,
Yeah.
and it seems as though it was on the back porch. She couldn't get the pump started. No, she didn't want
It was
to.
probably in the kitchen, because that's where it would be.
Could have been out there for canning or something. But anyway, and she was told to go get me some water, help me get water. And it was dark. She was scared and couldn't get the pump started. So she dipped me water out of the warm or hot water tank on the reservoir on the stove. And I went back in and told about that.
What they did, they didn't hear the pump start or something.
No, it's, you know, it was the old pitcher pump.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got to pour some water in it, and it's dark out there. So
Well, how did they find out that she gave it to you from the
I
bus?
told it.
Oh, you told.
I told it.
Did she get in trouble?
Of course. She didn't get in trouble. She just received some lifelong instruction. But
Middle name.
say what?
Trouble was our middle name.
Normally if they looked at us twice, we were in trouble. But I was the nicest kid. Company come.
Where'd you get that award? Did you say you were the nicest?
I was
That's
the
what he
nicest
said.
kid.
Where
Yeah,
did you
how'd I get that award?
That award. Where did you get that?
Oh, I used to hear them bragging on me.
Okay.
And I would get in the corner behind some stuffed furniture chair, and nobody'd hear a peep out of me. And they're talking about how nice I was. Too ashamed or too bashful to come out and do or say anything, and afraid that I was going to get out of order and be awarded a period of instruction. I didn't want that. So I just clam up and get in the corner. Everybody talking about how nice and quiet I was.
Oh, wow.
So that's how I got that award. I just figured it out.
You did?
When everybody's talking about how nice and quiet I was,
Yeah.
didn't give anybody any trouble. In other words, I was being a little bit facetious when I said I was the nicest kid.